See, even I know that, and I'm not even the big Trekkie.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Torreshasenteredthechat. I'm your host, Brian Torres, and this is my co-host, Crystal Torres. Today we're going to be talking about two interesting topics we came across the social media calendar, which are introverts and sci-fi. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
So how do you define being an introvert?
I thought I told you I didn't like that question. How do you define? Oh, okay. Well, for me, I mean, I guess I try not to live by a label per se, but I feel like it is just part of my personality. Just being someone who's naturally reserved and naturally kind of shy. It takes a lot to come out of my comfort zone and even to do this right now. It's kind of stressful. But I guess over time, as I've grown as a person, and also in my just lines of work, because I'm an educator and I'm also a wedding photographer, and it takes a lot of communication and a lot of just being able to work and deal with people. So I feel like it's just I've grown a lot as a person. And so, I mean, I still have that as a major personality trait, just someone who is, I prefer to sort of observe from the sidelines before I jump into any type of social setting. And it's just, I guess, how do I define, I mean, I feel like I lost my train of thought a little bit. But I guess that's sort of just how I would define it. It's just a part of my personality, who I am as a person, and it's just, for me, it's just someone who I guess needs time to really warm up into situations, I guess, to put it briefly. Now I'm hot. This is supposed to be my security blanket.
It's a shirt.
Yeah, no. I can't wear this the whole time. No way.
All right.
I'm dying here.
So you go out, you decide you want to hang out with some friends. You spent the day with them. How do you recharge after a social event?
Honestly, I just need a lot of peace and quiet, and I need to just not talk for a little while. I can become overstimulated just from trying to keep up with conversation, and even just coming home from work, whether it's a wedding or whether it's school. It's just a lot of interaction all day long. So when I come back from those types of functions, or even just kind of hanging out with a friend or friends, or I really just need a minute to decompress. I will make a beeline for the shower and just go and just take a hot shower and just decompress in there. I don't want anyone to talk to me for at least 15 to 20 minutes. I just need a minute to just kind of decompress. And that's how I do it. I just need peace and quiet. I just don't want to be touched or really spoken to right away. I just need a minute to just feel the peace and quiet. Sometimes I'll even driving home from an event or something, I won't even put music on sometimes because it's just been so loud all day that I just really need to not hear anything.
All right, so you'd say you disconnect, you want to be alone. So in that same mindset, what's your ideal alone time activity?
Basically, sometimes, honestly, sleep. Sleep is a big one. I'll sleep so soundly after, days where I'm around a lot of people. Or, just, like I said, just calm, peace and quiet, painting. I love to paint. I feel like about a year and a half ago, I discovered that watercolor painting was very therapeutic for me. So it's just something that I do to decompress, and I enjoy it, and it's great, and yeah.
Yeah. So you're dealing with people day to day. Every day's a different thing, different people, different scenarios. How do you connect with people or clients as an introvert?
Well, like I said, it just it's something that I've really had to teach myself to step out of my comfort zone for. It was never something that came naturally to me. Just even, like I said, even this conversation in front of a camera is very kind of nerve-wracking. I'm like, oh, my palms are sweating, but it's just, I feel like over time and with practice, you kind of just learn to kind of get used to it, and the decompression part is always the same, though.
Yeah,
it's just always the same.
So in that situation, do you find yourself like switching your persona around to kind of acclimate to the environment a little bit, the social environment when you're interacting with these people?
Definitely a lot of code switching, a lot of, just trying to assimilate, I guess, to the situation. And not that I'm like not genuinely being myself, but like obviously if you're with other people and they're talking, you gotta talk. I'm not like a huge fan of like small talk per se. Like, please don't ask me about the weather. I'm just more of like,
it's cold, it sucks.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather be home under my blanket, like, but yeah, so it just, I don't know.
All right, so how do I get to approach an introvert? How do I go about approaching an introvert in that situation? Like, do I sneak through bushes and crawl through bushes and whatnot?
I would say for me personally, if we don't know each other, like, I will run away. Please don't. Okay, so this is a great story. So I have a really good friend who sadly no longer lives in our neighborhood anymore. She moved away to Texas. But so she literally was like the most exuberant person. So just like we met at a community center where we were bringing our kids, and she just started talking to me, and I was just like, oh my God, she's like, who is this weird person? Like, I just want to, I'm here to watch my kids play, and like, I don't understand why she's talking to me right now. And it just, I'm trying to be cordial, and I don't want to be like mean. So I was just like responding to her, and then like, it just happened. Like, I don't know, we just became really good friends, and we got really close over like the year that she lived in our area. And then to the point where like I was literally in tears when she told me she was leaving, and I was like, oh my God.
So be weird and awkward, huh? That's the way to do it?
No. But I don't know. It was just, she literally just like scooped me up and like added me to her friend bag.
Like a stray cat, huh? She's like, come here, come here. And there's a bag and a rope.
She lured me in. No, but yes. So Lulu, if you're listening, I love you. My extroverted friend.
I have a theory about having like a little charcuterie board with like a bunch of assorted cheeses and meats, specifically pastrami. If you're gonna do it right. Have some pastrami out there, some salami, some cooked meats, and like little breadcrumbs that.
Look, man, I'll come over for charcuterie board.
That's right.
You know that stupid. You know that meme where it shows It the Clown.
Oh yeah. Hey Georgie, come down.
No. It's like it shows like, and then like in the next like slide, it shows like a girl like sliding her body under the thing like that. That's, look, show me charcuterie. I'll go down there with you.
A good charcuterie board is dangerous. That'll get people talking.
Oh my God.
All right, so I guess it's my turn now. We're gonna talk about the sci-fi.
Oh man, that was funny though. I'm gonna need a good decompression session after this. I need some peace and quiet. Okay, so all right, let me get to these. First of all, we didn't applaud for today's I forgot to hit my applause button. Here we go. They're applauding for me because it took a...
Get out.
The audience loves me. All right. Okay. So let's get this theme going for you because it's sci-fi. We're also talking about sci-fi. So
thank you guys for those tuning in. We're talking about introverts and sci-fi. We just covered introverts, so now we're going into the sci-fi portion of it.
yeah.
Hence the Star Trek music.
Not Star Wars, not to be confused with
Yo,
Star
it's not May the
Wars.
4th. Don't do that. I'm not fighting no Trekkies
Oh my
after
god,
this,
y'all
right?
gotta be so like touchy.
I got knuckles, but these hands are rated E.
So touchy.
All right.
So touchy. Goodness gracious. All right, so my first question for you is, what is, in your opinion, the most impactful sci-fi work of science fiction, and why?
So, as you can tell from the shirt, or for those who can't, this is a captain's shirt, Captain James T. Kirk's shirt, his uniform when he's on the role, playing the role of Captain Kirk on Star Trek. He's one of the original series characters, and I'm a big fan of Star Trek because it encompasses the human condition and it talks about all of that. It talks about racism, it talks about societal structure, it talks about the future, obviously science, progression, and it covers a lot of bases. Pretty much everything is covered by Star Trek. It's like the mecca of science.
Ooh. All right. So it says, how do you think wait, where is it? Do you think science fiction is primarily a form of escapism, or does it serve as a critical lens on current societal issues?
I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm sure there are people who watch it just for like the shoots and giggles, if you will, because some people are like, this is funny. Yeah, the pew pew pew, you know? But besides awesome like space battles and gunfights and all that fun stuff, there's an element of again like the human condition and how it addresses things like, you know, modern slavery. It addresses things like injustice for society. So sci-fi wise, like it covers the fun aspect in escapism, but also addresses a lot of social concerns that go on. I mean, there's so many episodes that cover it from the original series. Like, did you? A lot of people don't know this, but the first interracial kiss was done by William Shatner and the character who played Uhura. That was the first interracial kiss on screen in film, and it was done on Star Trek, the original series. So they broke ground that way.
Yeah. We could say they transported to another era. That was so bad.
It's gonna be a long episode.
That was so bad, but it was so good. All right. Which one was this? What are some key recurring themes in science fiction that resonate with contemporary concerns?
All right, so in society, we're worried about the, climate change, global warming, resource distribution, and how there's like a lack of resources all across the globe. And one thing that's a recurring theme in Star Trek is space exploration. Now, why do I put two and two together there? It's because a lot of what we're doing now scientifically is the development of our space program so that we can reach beyond the Earth's sphere and gather resources from, Mars, or expand our sphere of influence beyond the scope of the Earth. Like, it's a lot easier to deal with people on multiple planets with multiple areas of resources. And for example, there's a finite amount of steel, let's say, here on Earth. But if there's a whole other planet that has steel, we can, trade, we can have some kind of distribution there, we can build colonies. So it's a matter of expanding mankind, and it helps. It creates homes, and obviously when you have that level of exploration, you're going to need colonization too. You're going to need people to go out there and establish government structures, social structures too. You're going to need that. You're going to need like we just said, governments. You're going to need towns. You're going to need cities. You're going to need, and that obviously means you need gardeners. You need workers. You need government officers. You need police. You need construction. There's so many avenues that goes down, and so it's a constant recurring theme. Like one of the catchphrases is to boldly go where no one's gone before. And you know what? That means finding new resources that we can use. Maybe we can find stuff that's a little more, earth eco-friendly to the environment, or things that can further humanity without costing us so much.
All right. Okay. You were on a roll there, Torres. What is the line between hard science fiction and soft science fiction, and which do you prefer?
That's hard. Okay. So there's like all the fluff and stuff, like, cyborgs, aliens, and granted that there is like rooted in truth in there. There's a lot of, we can go into like Earth's history and how there's like hieroglyphs of alien spaceships and aliens and all kinds of races of aliens. We could get into that. But then there's like in the sense, like there's the fictional aspect of that, and then there's the hard stuff, like for example the movie Interstellar, that deals with like black holes and time travel, that kind of stuff. And that's hardcore, like that's real stuff. That's physics. That's stuff that's tangible to us right now, that we're starting to mess with, that we're starting to really get a firm grasp on it. So that's, for me, that's the difference. Now, my preference is, I'm a huge Aliens versus Predator junkie. Like, I love Aliens, the franchise, because it's like Star Trek, but darker, and it's awesome. It's like really, but it's gritty. It's definitely not kid friendly. So do not watch this with your kids. It's not kid friendly. So for me, I guess it's weird. You could say I lean more towards the fictional aspect of it, and less of the, like, I don't care for time travel, because like everyone's doing a multiverse now, if you notice. Yeah. Like everyone's like, oh hey, let's just, we died in this universe, so let's just go to everything's parallel universe now. Like, can you have an original thought, Hollywood, please? So there's that.
All right, so that sort of, you kind of like already led into the last question that I have, which is, what are your thoughts on the intersection of science fiction and other genres like fantasy or horror?
Okay, so there's the whole alien thing, but if you go like further back, because we're talking like time travel and whatnot, let's look at the whole steampunk genre. We talk about science fiction in a prior age, or we can go as far back as like Atlantis and the discovery of Atlantis possibly, or ancient technology. For example, the Baghdad battery, that was a real thing. They had discovered this battery capable of holding electricity thousands of years ago, and then the knowledge of it just disappeared. And so we had to rediscover electricity with Benjamin Franklin only a few hundred years ago. And it's like, but wait, we had this technology thousands of years ago. What the heck happened? So that's science, in the genre of like the past. If we're going to talk about ancient times and civilizations and the historicity of science, that would be an example of that. But then there's also, if we're talking about like steampunk, for example, that's a style of anime that or even there was a time in the early 1920s where people were starting to develop prosthetics, and they were, prosthetics have been around for thousands of years as well. Mm-hmm. So we can get into the historicity of that. But sci-fi, I feel, is rooted obviously in science, and the big word there is fiction, but prior to that is science. And science has been around for so long. People have been asking questions since the dawn of mankind, since the Neanderthals were playing with fire. So there's a lot of historicity to science, and it definitely goes into like fantasy, if we want to talk about anime, or it goes into like time travel, like physics and stuff like that. And even right now, like modern, if we want to talk about architecture, because people don't realize this, a lot of modern building designs are sci-fi related. That's, a lot of people are doing that. So that's that.
Okay.
All right. So that's our episode for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're keeping it brief, but thank you for joining us, and have a good one.
Wait, hold on.